To add on to our free body diagrams, we're going to include the concept of moments. So let's take an example that we've done before. We're going to take a fixed support. So here we go. This is going to be a fixed support, and we have a force being applied at the end of the beam, which is F, and we're going to isolate the beam by itself, or isolate it from its environment. So we're going to take the beam right here. We're going to apply the force F, and now since this is acting like a pivot, this point right here is acting like a pivot, this force F is actually causing this beam to rotate in this direction. So to prevent that rotation, this wall is actually providing a reaction moment, which is pointing in this direction, M. So this force is rotating in this direction, which is causing it to rotate that direction, but the reaction force of the wall is making it rotate in the opposite direction to prevent or to keep this beam in equilibrium. And then we will just simply apply the reaction forces going in the y direction and in the x direction. So that's just like a basic example of implementing the moment reaction in a free body diagram. But let's say we have maybe some arbitrary link, and it's being connected to another link, something like this. And let's say we isolate or separate these two bodies, and we apply this concept of a moment being right here. There might not be a moment, but let's say there is, and there's an interaction being right here because the bodies are connected. So we say a moment is going in this direction for this body, and then to include it on this body, we use the opposite orientation. So then there will be a moment going in this direction. So if you understand Newton's third law, this is basically the same thing with forces, but instead of using forces, we're using moments. So this is just a very typical, very basic example of how moments are basically treated as forces when it comes to Newton's third law. So all we're doing is just implementing this new idea of moments in our free body diagrams.